Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back, and in this video I am going to walk you through the Teleprompter for Video app. I'm going to walk you through the settings and how to upload your scripts so that you can get started and start speaking your voice right away. So let's get started. All right, so as soon as you open up the app, it's going to look exactly like this. I already have a script uploaded, which is what you see here at the top of the screen. And right away, we are able to see these directional buttons, which allow you to adjust how much of the text you want to be able to see. Right here on the top and bottom one, we're able to adjust how much of the text shows up. What I would recommend, which is what I found to be the kind of the best in the sweet spot while shooting these videos and using this app, is about a third of the way on the screen, which is 30%. Now, right here, right next to it, we see this pencil button, which allows us to edit the text. Once you have your text edited, then you'd hit the save button, and now you're back ready to record. Now, down here at the bottom right-hand corner, we see this little microphone, which allows you to see that there's audio coming in, which is super helpful. You don't want to watch your video at the end and there's no audio to it. So you're able to see that, again, super helpful. Right next to that, there's the voice assisted scrolling feature, which is a really awesome feature. This is something that you're gonna wanna play with. I definitely recommend you play with it first and figure out if it's going to be a good fit for you. Me personally, I found it to be a little bit troublesome because I'm somebody who tends to go off script. And what ended up happening was, as I was going off script, it ended up recognizing and picking up a word that was at the bottom of the script, and it ended up going all the way down to the bottom, which would completely mess up my script, the flow of my script. And then I'd have to then play with it and adjust, which just wasn't going to work. What I ended up doing was I ended up using the auto scroll feature. I was able to adjust my speed for it, and then I found my flow, and that was able to do it for me. But for yourself, again, if you're good at writing your script, or you do a good job of writing your script and you do a good job of staying on script, then this is definitely a feature that I would recommend, because it allows you to maintain that natural state of your flow of how you speak when you're presenting. So right next to that, we see these three little circles here, these colored circles, and we click into there. And what this allows us to do is adjust our settings. We're able to adjust our brightness, our contrast, the tint, the vibrance, and the curves, all within the app before you shoot your video. Now, just a quick little tip here. I do recommend, if you're using this app and you're obviously going to be recording on your phone, I do recommend that you invest in good lighting. Good lighting is what's going to set your video apart and is what's going to give it that professional look. And on top of using this teleprompter, it's going to also sound really good. So those two combined, you're going to end up with a really good quality product. So definitely invest in good lighting, especially if you're shooting on your mobile device. Now, down here at the bottom, if you're not using the voice assisted scrolling, this is where you're able to adjust the scroll speed. Again, I found mine to be right at 145. This is something that you're gonna wanna play with yourself and figure out what your speed is if you decide to use this option. Now, if we jump over here to the left-hand side, we're gonna jump into our settings, and this is where we're able to adjust the font size. About 25 is what I found to be helpful for myself. Again, this is going to be this is going to depend on your eyesight. What I would recommend is having the font size as small as possible, enough to where you can still see it, because this is going to minimize the amount of your eyes having to move, even if it's just that slight little bit as you're reading the text. Now here on this mirror section, we're able to mirror our text in case we were using an actual teleprompter. You can use it in that case as well. So now if we move over to here, we're able to change the text area. Again, this is the same feature as here to show have how much text you want to show within the screen here. Again, I found mine to be about 30%, a third of the way, and that was useful for myself. Now we can also change the transparency just to kind of highlight the text a little bit more. I left it at the default, which is the 30% there. We can change the background as well to black or white. I left it as the default. That worked perfectly fine for myself. And now the position of the text. Again, this is where this app sets itself apart from all other apps. Most other apps don't allow for this feature to have the text on the side of the camera. And when I discovered this app and discovered this feature, this was a complete game changer. And the only other app that I found that allowed for this, you had to pay for, and this app allows you to do it all in the free version. So now if we continue to move along, we're able to add a countdown, which I do recommend having the countdown. I have mine set at 5. If you're somebody who needs to adjust a little bit more and you need to, take a breather before the video starts or the camera starts recording, then you can obviously adjust that and increase that to 10 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever it is that works for you. Pre-roll and after, let's just leave that as is. We don't need to play with that. Now, if we continue moving along, we click into the camera settings here. Now you are able to record with both the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera. I'm not exactly sure what you would need to record with the rear-facing camera for if you're using this app for the teleprompter, which you most likely are if you're watching this video. So leaving that on the front-facing camera is going to be the best fit. Quality, my recommendation for these style of videos and for the use case that you're going to be shooting these videos for is to leave them at the 1080p at 30 frames per second. We're not, these are talking head, videos, educational style videos. There isn't any motion. We're not doing anything cinematic or anything like that. So 60 frames per second is not necessary. And then also too, leaving it at 1080p makes it much easier for you to move around the files because your file size is going to be a little bit small, or it's going to be significantly smaller actually than the 4K file size. And then also too, because we're most likely posting these videos to social media, 4K is just not necessary. So leaving this at 1080p at 30 frames per second is my recommendation. Now, when we go back, we also have the ability to have this grid here. I prefer having the grid. It's something that I recommend you getting used to because it does help you in framing your shot and knowing where the frame is at, and then also keeping all your lines straight, to your background, and which is going to make your video just look that much better. So now if we continue moving along, the rear mirror front camera and the AE lock, we don't need to play with those. We can just leave those as is. And now to the script section. Once you're ready and you have all your settings adjusted, now we can upload our script and start recording. So right here, you can see the little hamburger symbol. We're gonna click inside of there. I already have some scripts uploaded. First thing I'm gonna do here is show you how to upload a brand new script. And we're gonna click on this plus button up at the top right corner. And it gives you the options to add your script from Dropbox, from Google Drive, from OneDrive, or from files directly from your phone. I like to do the create a new script, and then I have my Google Docs app open, and then I just copy my script from my Google Docs, and then just paste it into the text here, and I'm ready to go. Once you have that set, you hit save, and you're ready to roll. So let's go back to see what that's gonna look like once you have a script uploaded. So I'm gonna click into this one here. It's going to look like this. You're going to have the record option there. Once you're ready to do that, you can edit the script if you need to make any last minute changes. You can change the title, which is I do recommend changing the title so that you know what script that is and you don't end up having a whole ton of scripts and you don't even know which one it is later on down the road. This is just data management 101. So now, once we're ready to record that script, again, it's going to look exactly like this. Your script is going to be up at the top, or if you're shooting this in horizontal, over on the left side, or it could be the right side on the camera side. It's going to look exactly like that. Let me show you now what it's going to look like once you have a video shot. So right here in this section, you can see these little numbers here, the 3 and the 1. That means that there's already 3 videos recorded in there, which means that I messed up a couple times and I had to do that 3 times, 3 different takes. On this bottom one, we have 1 video there, which I nailed it on that first one, which I did a good job of that. So once you shoot the video, it's going to look like this. And this is pretty awesome that it stores all of your recordings. So any of your mess ups, anything like that, it's gonna store all of those recordings here. It's gonna look just like this, which is pretty neat. Anything that you don't want, you can go ahead and just delete them. Let's click into this one so I can show you what the post editing capabilities are within the app. So once you have your video shot and you stop recording, it's going to bring you to a window like this. Now you have the option to save to photos. If your video is complete and finalized, go ahead and start processing that. It's going to take you a few minutes for it to process and download onto your phone. You can also share the video, which is the same thing. It's going to process, take a few minutes, and then you're able to send it out to wherever it is that you want to do that. Now you can also add subtitles. FYI, the subtitles aren't the greatest looking, but they do get the job done. If you wanted to have that option within the video, it already does that within this app. I'm gonna mention the adding the image logo and adding the music together, because this is an option that only comes with the premium version, which at the time of this video costs $18.99. Not something that I recommend doing. It's not necessary. You always have the option to add your logo if you wanted to do that in something like Canva, or in something like even just in your social media editor, all for free. You don't have to pay the few dollars to do that. The music as well, not something that I can vouch for because I don't use it myself and I'm not 100% sure what kind of music they have access to. So again, not exactly necessary to do that or to have to purchase the premium version to have access to these features. Now, adding the text, you're able to add text. If there's anything that comes up within the video or during the video that you want to highlight, you can add text in there. If you have a green screen set up behind you, you have that option as well. You can use this green screen feature and replace your background. You also have the option to resize your video, which you can resize the video to a portrait mode if you're wanting to upload this to something like Instagram Reels or TikTok or your YouTube Shorts. You also have the option to use a square format, which is a 1080 by 1080. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this as landscape because what I'm using this video for is landscape is needed. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that as is. Now, once you're all done with that, you can go ahead, you can go ahead and save your video to your photos and you'd be all set to go. So other than that, that's pretty much it. That sums up this app. Again, this app is super easy to use and it's very, very powerful. This capability of being able to use a teleprompter while you're recording your video, and the fact that it keeps the text over on the side of the camera, it makes it to be an extremely powerful app to shoot long form video. Or if you're someone who is just getting started and you're wanting to shoot video where you're speaking directly to the camera, it allows you and it helps build up your confidence to start doing that, and then maybe get you to a point where maybe you don't need to use a teleprompter and your speaking skills are a lot better. You've improved over time and having used the teleprompter. I still end up using the teleprompter as much as I can because I tend to ramble and I go off script, and then it becomes a much longer video than what it needs to be. So I like using the teleprompter because it keeps me on track, and I'm able to really write my script and say everything that I want to say within the video. So there you have it, you guys. I hope that you found that helpful. Go ahead and start using this app. Again, it's super easy to use, and start setting up, start preparing your scripts, start getting those prepared maybe in your Google Docs, and then get them uploaded here into this app so that you can get started. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please share some love, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.